Hello everyone, this is Emerald Nova editing this video clip. Not something I normally do, but we had a slightly embarrassing mistake where for a solid half hour my microphone was muted through OBS so that no one on Twitch could hear me. We have the guest, Haven, who is the developer of Hex Maniac Advance, giving me a task to run through in order to do this ROM hack. So what I'm working on is Pokemon Emerald Nova, which is a ROM hack of the Pokemon Emerald Game Boy Advance game. You see me going back and forth with Haven about how to best accomplish a task he gives me, which will be explained when the fast forward is done, and seeing how I try to figure out how to best navigate his tool and the Pokemon Emerald documentation to accomplish it. While we're waiting for this clip to catch up to when I finally turn my microphone back on, at the behest of Twitch chat, I would like to introduce or remind everyone who hasn't already heard about it of my newly launched Patreon. There will be a lot more Saturn-heavy, Saturn-focused work. I provide documentation, code snippets, support, some articles about some ideas I'm having, how I'm approaching different coding problems, different game design approaches, how to gather assets. Essentially, more of how the sausage is made than what you would normally get in a stream because it is less time constrained. It's also a method to help me support monetarily my game design developments and try to get me some more resources, more assets, some more training sometimes if that's required through a class or something like that. I would encourage everyone to try out the 7-week free trial on one of the basic Patreon tiers, Emerald Nebula level, which shows you exactly everything that would be available in the Patreon and the kind of materials that I'll be generating going forward. One of my favorite features that was requested by Mr. Kotfu from Sega Extreme is providing mini engines and limited technical support on how to utilize and modify those mini engines. So these would be essentially mini game development projects that you could run on the Saturn that are kind of ready to go without having to do a lot of the legwork from getting the basics down. So as of this moment, I think right now I would be working on the Emerald Nova 2D boilerplate, which is basically just how to get a basic SGL, some basic template of TGA graphics with palettes and sounds and CDDA audio. So if you're interested in that, please give the free trial a try, and if you want to continue supporting me or this channel or my game development efforts, go ahead and sign up on the Patreon. The link for that is below. And now we should be caught up to when my microphone finally gets back on and we can continue the recap of the stream.
Oh, y'all can't hear me? I mean, it's funny because I can hear myself.
No,
before.
They can't hear me. My mic was muted this whole time.
Oh, that explains why I'm not hearing you duplicated.
Oh my god. Nobody noticed that I was silent for a solid hour?
I was noticing that I wasn't hearing you duplicated, but...
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Wow. So I was answering questions from chat and everything. Trevo, I thanked you for whatever the heck those 100 baubles were. Crap. Okay. Jeez. Oh, the replay on this is going to be hard to explain. I'm sorry to everyone on YouTube that just skipped to the time code that I just set up in order for me to explain what's going on here. Haven is the developer of Hex Maniac Advance, which is this nice piece of software I'm using. Hello, there he is. This is a Pokemon Generation 3 ROM editor that works with basically all the games, although certain versions of the games are less recommended than others. I'm using USA and Pokemon Emerald. We're working on a ROM hack, which Trevo addresses what you're doing there. So not quite homebrew, but kind of patchy in a way, in that I'm generating an overhaul to the story and to the map for Pokemon Emerald. So he is giving me a bunch of tasks or test cases for me to run through in order to test out. Okay, just the one. So he's giving me tasks and to test through to see the usability of the new software to the average user, which is apparently me, as I've only been using this piece of software for like a month or two. Not very consistently either, because I've had a lot of time recently. Thanks for saying that, Danthrax. I would have gone the whole stream totally silent. You just would have been listening to Hedgehog music and Haven, answering questions from someone no one can hear. So yeah, I am making a script where John Bugman is looking for a Heracross in order to breed with some other Pokemon that he may have in order to generate the perfect bug. So, with that said, I'm going to cheat by... let us put in the check here. So... buffer Pokemon into buffer 1, not end. Need to watch where I put this thing. Into, let's see, Heracross. There we go. Now, is it compare buffer? Or buffer... compare. Okay, there's some way to compare buffers. The buffers are stored as string, so is it like string compare or something like that?
I honestly don't know if there is a way to compare buffers, but if you say there is, I believe you.
Oh. Well. Let's find out. If the buffers are variables,
the buffers are kind of variables.
All right, let's look through the buffers and just see what's out there. Buffer string copies a string into the buffer. Okay, that's one direction of it. I mean, there's the scripting language is nice, but there's just like random stuff that I feel like you should be able to do that just doesn't work.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things you can't do. So I just looked through every version of the word compare and didn't find anything useful.
If you can compare strings, I feel like there should be an area of memory where the buffer is that you should be able to point to and try to get it to compare.
You know, that sounds reasonable, but I've never done it and I've never seen it done.
Surely, in the Pokemon games, there was a thing where you would show, like, you show a guy in like both in Emerald, or at least in Fire Red. You show there's some picky lady on an island somewhere in the Sevi Islands, and she's like, "Hey, I want to see an Eevee, hop." And if you go show her an Eevee, she gives you like an evolution stone, like the most annoying way possible. So
yeah, but like I said, that uses a special, I bet, because you have to pick the Pokemon from your party.
Okay, so fine then. How about where's the list of specials that I can reference?
Where would you look for it?
My first indication would be resources. So there's PCS resources is the this area, and then there's table reference, and then script reference would be my first resort. But like, I search for special. I don't know what I find. Because like there's no like big flag that says okay. So there's special function specials, but where's the list of specials?
So I see where you're going. I will make sure that it's there in the future. It's not there right now. Right now, you can find the list of specials either in your TOML file, or well, let's just say that that's based on where you're looking. I'll say that you would want to look in your TOML file.
Okay. So I don't think I've ever actually dug into the TOML file. I just count on it as a piece of backup data. Yeah,
it's just a list of all the metadata, and the thing is that the specials are different depending on which game you're hacking, which is why right now that's where you can find the specials. So you just open it in any old text editor, and if you look for specials, keep on going. Oh, was that it?
Yeah. Find all in. Okay.
Go back a couple.
Which one am I on right now? So how about...
You're on 4481.
4481. There. So special.
So scroll up a little bit from there. Is what's at the beginning of that list? There you go.
So
Name
there's
specials.
Specials.
Okay, so there you go. There's the list of all the specials, starting with heal player party.
Yeah, I've done that one once. That's how I made the onsen. Was with that special. Clean up, link, check secret base. Okay. So, jeez.
There are a lot of specials. You might want to do some kind of searching.
Yeah, okay. Okay, starting at line here to... Oh, these music? Sound effect? There. So, 4905, from here to here. Let's search in the selection.
And you can just copy those to a separate file if you wanted to. Just to make searching easier, right?
Probably. Oh, let me do that after this. Yeah, screw it, I'll do it now. Show Pokemon Sword, change Pokemon nickname, store select Pokemon, trade, create in-game trade, script, is Pokemon Jump species. Is Pokemon Jump species in party? What the heck?
Pokemon Jump is the name of the minigame.
Oh. 72 hits. There's only 9 hits in here. So let's try species.
Maybe... What other words could you look for?
Get selected Mon nickname and species. Okay, I've done that without needing a special. Get party Mon species. Oh, interesting. 335. Get party Mon species. Now, first off, there's 6 possible outputs from that, so it's not shoving things into a buffer, because there's only 3 of those. Okay, this is where we go running to the Pokemon forums. We go Pokemon Emerald Special Functions ROM hack or whatever. There we go. Let's figure out what the heck that thing is.
So there is supposed to be a comment there that's not showing for you for some reason. Let me see if I can find out what's going on with that real fast and just copy the comment that you should have seen when you looked at that.
Alright.
I don't know why it's not there for yours. I'll have to figure that out later. But just to keep things moving here.
Pokemon Emerald specials. Let me type in the actual special there. Google has this thing now where it has multiple line input. That's new.
Google has multiple line input?
Yeah, check it out. So there, see, it expanded it to multiple lines.
Oh, neat.
That's new. Yeah. I mean, it's current year. It's surprising it took that long now that I think about it. Like, I'm just so used to having to, scroll or whatever horizontally. Data / special.
Okay, so I'm going to copy the line that I expected you to have. I'm going to post it in chat, okay?
Okie doke.
So here is the line as it should have appeared. It didn't, that's
index.
A bug.
Choose party mon. But, chosen index. Okay, so it's going to open up a menu for me to select a Pokemon to show to him, which will then store the number 7 for cancel though. What if you have a Charmander? Oh
no, it's storing the index, not the Pokemon species.
Okay.
So it's like 1 through 6, right?
Choose party mod. Okay, but then we're back where we started. So that's not what I'm looking for. Because it's telling me, okay, here's the one I'm looking for. Which, okay, fine, nice to have. Let's do that.
There's another special for you.
Okay, return species. So the species is going to be the number code.
If you do the get Partymon species, then yes, that returns the species, which is what you wanted.
Okay. Why is Cerebi always... I want Bulbapedia, not Cerebi. Okay. Alright. Well, now that we're here, we might as well just... choose Partymon. Okay, and then... buffer... Okay. Okay, so they're going to be called one after another. Get Partymon species. And it's going to call... So this is going to give me an index. Yeah, geez, I can't spell. What did I screw up here? Get Partymon species. Is that not right? Script. Is it script? Get... Okay. So, this line will choose a Partymon. Sorry?
That's a weird name. Should I change it?
I mean, the script part I didn't expect, but...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would it make more sense if I changed it?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, just the word script in general doesn't really indicate anything useful in terms of the special functions. So choose Partymon will store in 8004 a index of my choosing. So the player will open up the menu, choose one of the Pokemon, and now this script get Partymon species will return the species. But where does it return it to? So is it returning? Is it saying that it's returning to 800D, or do I give it a return value?
You have to tell it where to return to.
Okay, so
generally, yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so is that how I would input the argument for a special function? Because it doesn't look like it likes that.
It doesn't.
No. Is it something like this? Because I've never actually utilized it like that before.
Yeah, so this is a thing that I don't know how to tutorialize, and maybe you'll have an idea on it. The way the Pokemon scripting works is silly. Special just does a thing. Special 2 is lets you return a value.
Okay, so Special 2, I give you the return variable first, and then the name of the script.
Yes.
Alright.
And now it's happy.
Alright. Okay, so now, the buffer that I'm looking for is different, because it's no longer going to buffer Pokemon into species.
The chosen species is now stored in 8000D.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to remember if species is like a buffered string, or if it's actually the index.
It's a number. 8000D stores a number.
Pokemon in buffer 0 is X800D. Okay, what a wonderful blank that you have. Or actually, var.compare? Or what was it? Compare.var.
You had the if part right, I think.
Really? If dot var dot. I'm really looking for an equal.
Yeah, you want to do an if.compare, right?
Okay. Oh, okay. That's I keep forgetting that the order these are going to. Okay, so OX800D. equal value, what was it? 214. Go to section 2. Section 2. Okay, Mr. Bugman releases another Heracross. Okay, how do you fade to black? So there's like a
fade screen.
Yeah. Now what are the effects? Fades out. Okay.
And just so you know, you're currently going off the bottom of the stream. It's kind of I can see a little bit, but
I'm actually at the bottom of the input. That's just how it looks, because right here you see the
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Play. Or actually, was it sound? Okay, now we need a list of. What was the list of sound effects? Let me just. Emerald. Actually, no, I had in the TOML, right? The TOML has a bunch of sound effects.
The TOML lists everything.
Okay, there's some songs. Okay, where's the SE underscore? There we go. Use item. Wall hit. Yep, that's the right one. That is the right sound effect.
Okay.
Wall hit. Wait. Sound. Okay. Always with the freaking E. What is it, the forward one or the backward one? I can never remember.
I think it's the forward one.
Okay, yeah. I know I have it in my common just as a. There we go. Gloria's always down for a Pokemon fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Give dot item. Now, let's see. Crap. There isn't like a bug related. Let's see. Was it silver? Why can't I spell today? Silver powder. Volpedia. Where's the power? Yeah, there we go. So is it... Here's going to be the fun part. Silver powder. Okay, all caps. Hey. Okay. Forgot what the autocomplete was.
Ooh. Oh, it's okay. It's bad about something else, but it seems to have started miscounting the number of lines. Because it's saying that there's a bug with the silver powder line, but it's showing you the red underline 3 lines above that. So something's causing it to miscount lines.
Yeah, I think I screwed up somewhere. Let me see. So here's
No,
box.
you're fine. So the red underline there should be underlining give item silver power, because silver powder should have 2 arguments, not just 1. So again, it's supposed to be underlining a different line than it is underlining. That's a bug.
Oh, okay. I forgot that there's a quantity associated with it.
Okay. Just thinking for a second. How do I word that?
Set flag OX0021. Okay, so these lines are worthless now, but I told you I was going to cheat, so give Pokemon species, what was it, 214? Level, I don't know, 5, no item. So, do I say none here, or blank, or 0, or what?
You can say 0 if you want.
No. Okay. Now let's test the script. Huh. Something weird happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I believe I need a wait command here because he went along to... I think he tried to say something over here while this was happening.
Yes. He went straight to the, oh, you have a wonderful...
Yeah.
So again, since this isn't really part of the test, I'll just tell you after that first special, wait state. Yeah, wait, the first one there.
Yeah, I figured it was something like that.
That will probably do what you want. Because the idea is that it needs to wait for you to choose a party before it goes on with the script. With the second one, it's not waiting for you to do anything, so you don't need a wait state. But with the first one, you want it to wait for you to pick a party member.
It did not. Okay, so that second wait state broke it.
Are you stuck? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was stuck. Yeah, I think the second one broke it.
So why did you do the give Pokemon?
Just to make sure I had a Heracross that I could give.
Oh, okay.
So right now I don't have one. I'm going to show him my Dratini. Okay, and now I have received a Heracross. So now we can
That's
go
the cheating you mentioned. Got it.
Yeah. Oh crap! You know what? No. First off, let's reset this because this requires sound. Make sure the full effect. Okay. So. Origin. Okay, let's pause the music real quick. And then, oh, I forgot where my keyboard was. And let's toggle sound. Okay. Now, John Bugman disappeared for a hot second there.
Yes.
What's up with that?
You used the give item macro, which is usually used when you pick up a Pokeball from the ground.
Is that not what you would want to do in this situation?
There are other things you could do. So there's like a message box item, I think, that you could use.
Message box item.
Yeah, like message box item or message box add item or message box something like that. I don't really remember.
Box dot item. Oh.
Okay, yeah. That gives you the message, the item, the count, and the song. It does everything except actually giving you the item.
Why? What's the point?
I mean, if you wanted to give you it gives you the sound, and then it says the thing about so and so put the silver powder in his bag. Like it does all that stuff.
But then what's the count?
Is it singular or plural? Put the potions in his bag. Put the potion in his bag.
Well then.
So yeah, you're supposed to use message box to item along with add item. And again, the reason add item is not part of message box item is because of the way that the game does things in vanilla games. Those two commands are often separated from each other, so in order to get the macro to work, I had to not include add item.
Let's try it this way, the way I did it.
6, okay.
Does it not like 6?
No, 6 is good. It'll give you 6 silver powders. Yeah, that'll work.
It doesn't like the fact that I said silver powder either. It's supposed to change.
Why not?
Color, right? Okay, let me turn the music back on. I know that the sound effect that I wanted worked. How did he move? I didn't lock all. Should I lock all? I should have locked all.
You never even locked him.
Yeah, I didn't lock anyone. Okay, did I at least get my silver powder? Okay, well, let's, okay, final check. So first off, lock all, and, release all. Oh, I should probably end, shouldn't I? Yeah.
So,
like a good idea.
Honestly, that was a feature that I added, and I'm glad to see that it worked correctly. You didn't add end, it added end for you. So if you had left the script and come back, you would have noticed that there was actually an end there. Because yeah, otherwise it crashes the game. So
yeah, I've done that several times.
Yeah, HMA assumes that if you put something in there that's not a go-to or a return or an end, then it should just put an end in for you.
He moved again.
Where are you locking?
I'm locking after the confirm, so he's moving mid-sentence. So let's okay. So lock all at the very beginning, which means this becomes redundant. But I now need to put it at the end of every script. All right. Okay, so he moved again. Am I going crazy?
You're not going crazy. you'll notice when you were working with your other NPC, you were using messagebox.default, and now you're using messagebox.npc. Messagebox.npc is a slightly different command that automatically includes lock and release in it, which is probably why you don't want to use it whenever you're doing a big script like this. Messagebox.npc is really only best to use if the NPC is just a very simple one, right? It's just going to say one thing and leave.
Okay, that makes sense. And thus, I will be changing all of this to prevent...
And just to save you a moment, messagebox.npc also includes a face player, and so now your script doesn't have a face player anymore.
Yeah... Okay, what number is this guy? He's number 1! Is it sprite face player?
It's a face player.
Okay. It's gonna want just no argument?
That's all you need.
Huh. I should probably do that.
Probably, yeah.
The branching. Okay, let's do the full test run. Okay, so enable the sound, please. Thank you. Okay, I show him a Dratini. It's not what he wants. Wow, he moved before the end. He moved before the end of that.
Is one of them still a...
No, message default, message default, message default. Oh, you know what? The script thought it was over before it was over. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I need to put that here and here. Now, because I changed to the close on key press, probably some other things you're going to need to, or the messagebox.default and close on key press.
I think messagebox.default includes close on key press, but maybe I'm wrong.
It was acting kind of like it wasn't. But we'll find out if there's anything finicky going on.
Oh, you know, did you leave and come back? Did you forget to leave and come back that time?
No, I went back and came and stuff. He did it! Look at that! He left mid-sentence. How rude.
I guess I'm not quick enough to see it.
Okay, no, I'll stop rushing through it.
Because there's a slight delay between what I'm hearing you say and what I'm seeing happen, because there's a delay in the stream, but not in the Discord.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna talk to him. He's facing me, very polite.
And then just, like, don't close it afterwards.
But, see? Moved.
And I was walking away.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I encountered this whenever I was trying to practice with it. Go back to your script. Right after the choose party mon, after the wait state.
Yeah.
Yeah, do another lock.
Oh, that released it.
Yeah, I think either the wait state released it or something about that special released it. I don't really know, but I remember having to lock again after doing choose party mon whenever I was practicing this myself. But hopefully that's all you need and you don't actually need any of the close on key presses.
We'll find out. Did I release?
And to walk away.
Okay. I had my hair across. Don't have any silver powder. So right there,
Mm-hmm.
you learned something about Pokemon breeding today. I want close on key press because it's kind of awkward to have
Yeah, you want that
that
to close
method.
before the fade screen thing.
Yeah. And received a bunch of silver powder. I should probably play a sound effect like
Yeah, and that's
sound.
well. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, what was it, like a victory sound or something like that?
Usually level up actually is what they play whenever you get an item. I don't know why, but it's the same sound effects as level up.
Oh wait, this is the wrong one. That's reference. Where's my? Aha. Yes. Let's see. Level? No, that's not it.
Just type in level.
Yeah. Music level up. Interesting.
Ba-da-ba-bum.
At best, it's a jingle.
There's no jingle prefix.
So that sound will just play it once, even if it's a musical item.
I believe that is correct, yes.
Whoa. Whoops. I accidentally closed out. Oh, there's a good chance. Okay. Once more with feeling. Maybe I should put in an extra weight there to, like, punctuate it. But it's working as intended at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't play the level up music.
Yet.
But
Yeah,
why?
wrong order. What?
I need to put it before.
Yeah. All right. So
play...
at this point, we've done the part that I care about.
Okay.
So if you want to pause here for a second, we can do some chatting. I know there's 100 more tweaks you can do to this if you want to, like the whole thing where you want it to be a female. But right now, I'm just interested in your thoughts. So you've played with this for a little while. You've seen kind of the things that it provides, the things it doesn't. What to you felt really painful that you think the script editor can fix?
Well, I think the most obvious thing is the special reference of what the specials are, how they work.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's me having a slight amount of experience kind of biases me against looking up here for something useful.
Mm-hmm.
Because that I wasn't used to that being there before, but now that I know it's there, what I think should happen is probably this guy should stick up here. So when I scroll down on my extra big ass script, these guys should stay up here in case I need a new one, or if there's an extra button that just references stuff I've already used in the script. It's like, hey, you're using 0021. You want to use it again?
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
So
everything
some
else
sort
is
of
just me being ignorant, I think.
quick reference for flags and variables used within the current script. Can I get the script header?
So yeah,
You
like
stay
something like
on
this.
screen
Yeah.
as you scroll. I
Well,
don't know if I'll be able to do that, but I can try.
Yeah, because I think the utility of that is that these buttons are up here, but if I'm more than like 20 lines
if it's a super big script, yeah, then that doesn't really help. If there was a way to access those buttons without seeing them, what do you think it would be?
Probably whatever they just declared themselves to be. Control U and control control. Oh, control U and control U. That's wait. How does it know the difference?
Context.
Huh.
Notice that the buttons are disabled right now, but if you select a flag, it'll enable the flag button only.
Okay, I see. All right, so I suppose with the keyboard shortcut, it kind of makes a good amount of sense. I just didn't think of using it that way.
Nope, that's fine. The idea here is not how I expect people to use it, it's how people actually use it, which is why I was trying not to say too much and just let you kind of go your own way to see what happened.
Right.
There was some misuse of messagebox.npc. Is there anything that I could have done in the script editor to let you know earlier that like maybe you don't want to be using messagebox.npc here?
I mean, so we don't really what we don't have here, which is probably a pain in the ass to do, but probably would help, is like a tooltip where if I'm highlighting this thing, it's like you know like in VS Code or something like that, where you have let me get the music back on. Where you have essentially you highlight a function and says, okay, here's the arguments, here's like the description of the function, which I assume would just be like something out of something out of here, like just to pop this up, because it does pop up when you're typing, but not when it's highlighted.
Not when it's highlighted. Okay.
Yeah, and perhaps that combined with additional comments on messagebox.npc saying, hey, I'm also calling these guys when this terminates. Just kind of comments in with the messagebox.npc that lets you know that this includes lock and release. Yeah, but really, I don't think that's necessarily needed in editor all the time. I think that's something that needs to be learned ahead of time. So that's more like tutorial front matter.
I don't trust tutorials. I don't trust people to ever use tutorials. I know that for something as complicated as scripting, people do, but as much as I can provide in the editor without it being just like in your face confusing, I want to try.
So in that case, and yeah, if you're able to display multiple line comments, so let's look at the message box. Maybe I'm just
Messagebox.npc.
Messagebox. So it's the comment here. Honestly, I don't understand what's going on here at all.
Yeah, it's just telling you what the macro is doing, which is not actually useful. So I can update those comments to be what they do rather than what they do.
I actually know what you mean when you say that.
Okay, so better comments on whenever you double-click a term to highlight it. Whenever it's highlighted, it should show the completion tip, just like as you're typing, it shows the completion tip. The other thing I noticed is that I should probably show the completion tip as soon as you press space. So, for example, when you were doing scroll down a little bit, you had the show and hide screen. What was that called?
Fade screen.
The fade screen, yeah. So, like right now, fade screen, you just typed in a 00. As soon as you pressed space, I probably should have shown what the options were for that, so that you knew how to put like light and dark instead of 0 and 1.
I think it did do that, because that's how I knew to put 0 and 1. So like when I typed in fade screen and I press space, the comments are there. It says like the two most useful comments that this thing can have.
Fade screens, but it's not actually 0 fades in, 1 fades out. But notice it says screen fades right there. So like if you type in actually like in, I think, like what happens if you type in? There is completion options for this, but not until you start typing a letter. From white to white.
Oh, I didn't know those were options.
Right, that's kind of my point. You didn't even know they were there because the completion tip didn't show soon enough. So I'm glad that the other part was useful, but it's too slow on the draw there. Okay. There was some bugs that we saw there. I don't know how to do the special 1 versus special 2 thing. Maybe you're right about the tutorial.
So the thing is, the specials are, as their names imply, non-standard and unique and require some specialist knowledge in order to utilize.
I wish that were less true. It is true, but I wish it were less true. I'm looking for ways to make it less true. You did find the flag button. You already had a process based on the fact that you've been scripting for a while that involved going and looking at a flag list to go get a flag, which of course is perfectly fine. But part of the purpose of this particular usability test was the flag button, and like, is the flag button discoverable?
Right.
Where did you look for it? I think the first place you looked for it was utilities, and then after that you saw where the buttons were.
Yeah, it's right there. Because yeah, tools and utilities, I mean, they kind of mean the same thing to me, but like one obviously has one theme over the other.
Mm-hmm.
Tools, to me, a lot of this looks like View. Except for maybe Hex Converter and Show Automation Tool or something like that. Like most of this toggle tools, I think is just
They're
like
showing and hiding tools.
Yeah.
You are correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. View. I guess again, View just has a different flavor to what types of things you're viewing.
Right.
Tools about panels.
Okay.
Sorry, we're off topic.
Are we though?
There was a bug with the red underline, but was the red underline helpful? Assuming that it wasn't, showing the wrong line.
I mean, it told me that something was up, which is useful in that it didn't go away.
Yeah. Related to that, I noticed that you were being very careful with your line lengths. Just for fun for a second, can you make text that you expect would be too wide?
I mean, just off of feeling? Let's see. Because I know the character count's something like 40 or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, oh boy.
So write out some text that you expect will be too wide.
I sure hope this don't go off screen. And just based off of this, I already know this is too long, but where I would cut this off, I think would be here. And that's where I would truncate it. And this I think is like even slightly longer than I'd be comfortable with.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I'm assuming you're going to want to put like a red line type deal, like the 80 character termination in a lot of editors, but in this case, 40.
Well, again, so do you not see the red line there?
I see this, but that's because I didn't put that there, I think.
That's not why that was there. It's letting you know it's too long.
I did not.
In the actual version, it'll put that squiggle under all of the letters that are past the length. But right now, it's just highlighting the last character because that's all I had time to do before the usability test.
Okay. Okay. But does it count the /n as characters? Does it know not to do that? Oh,
it does some guessing related to the buffers. But it knows that spaces are half as wide as other characters, and it knows how much space is available.
Interesting. Okay. And then I know there's some form of text tomfoolery you can do with like italicizing or whatever to squeeze the kerning in and get a bunch more characters. I don't think anyone actually likes that.
Yeah. You can mess with it and like make custom character sets and stuff, but yeah, that won't work correctly with the calculation. Which is why it doesn't actually show as an arrow, it just shows the red squiggle, because maybe it does fit, but HMA is warning you that it probably won't.
Right. Here's the thing, like, maybe, because red is telling me, hey, there's like a hard error here, this thing's not even going to try to compile. Maybe turn that into a yellow where, yeah, it'll run, but you're not going to like it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Use yellow underline for line 2 long warnings. Because that's really what it is, it's a warning, not an error. Completion tooltips on highlight. Alright, what else you got for me? What are your other thoughts on this?
I mean, as far as this test is concerned, I think we did a good enough job. Like, it's behaving as I like, with the exception of the fade to black. I need to figure out a way to delay.
Well, again, you're thinking about the script right now. I'm asking about the script editor. Is the editor behaving the way that you want? That's not of course, right? That's why we're doing the test. if there's things in the script editor that are not behaving like you want, that's what we should be talking about, and that's what I've got notes on right here. So I've got like
So let me,
12 notes based on this so far. So this has been going very well for me.
yeah, let me export it back up. So this is Muska start, and now this is something that happened pre-show. Let me get the music back on. Where your little map highlight preview, somehow, I forget which one I was on, but one of these guys managed to bug out the editor. Now let me see. And I don't think I'm able to like recreate it properly. First off, this is Uska. Now, let me see. Because I know what I did is I started... Muska is based on Pseudopolis right now. So, let me just open up Vanilla Emerald. Go over to Pseudopolis. Pretty bad. Oh, that's right. You don't quite go to Pseudopolis. You have to, like, go there, so... It's not under maps?
Keep typing, you're doing good.
Soot. It wasn't,
You'll have to give it more letters than that. There was a problem where the map editor was matching things that it shouldn't if you like data was matching Adamant Cave. So you have to give it more you have to give it more letters now.
Okay, so if I start at A3C. So let's start this guy off at A3C on the map header. And A3C. Wait, did I read that right? It was A3C, right? 8-3C. Oh, F, A3C. Maybe I'm on the wrong... Oh, I'm looking at B, that's why. Do I have this backwards or something? F8-3C. We're at F8. Is it not even available as a header anymore?
Because of the error?
I don't know.
Try going to it and see, like, if you should go to that address.
Okay, so it's 824, 83C, 854. So let's try 854. Yeah, so somehow the secondary block set for Pseudopolis wiped itself from this ROM.
Again, just like if you do a go-to address...
A 3DF8. Okay, so let's OX 3DF83C, I believe it was.
Okay, so that does look like it's still there, but if you go to the, let's see, tile set, block set. So the tile set's still there and still recognized, but for whatever reason, it's not recognized in the map editor.
Right.
So it's not wiped from the ROM. It's just the map editor says it doesn't exist for some reason. The map editor's unsure about it.
Yeah, something happened during the preview process. 'Cause all I was doing was flipping before I even really edited. Well, I did shrink Pseudopolis and started deleting events, but that should not affect this. Where I started flipping through the secondary block sets, and I got like a hard stuck, error box over and over again. But I didn't save it because I figured I was going to recreate it. So let's actually recreate it.
Okay.
So this is saved. Let's go to the backup I made pre-show. So Muska, I believe, is 07. There we go. So this is the Pseudopolis that I started out with. And when I settled on one of these things, I think it was like a tree-looking one or whatever. It was like... yeah, I can't really recreate it. I don't know why.
Fair.
But one of these guys like started making it flip out and stuff. So actually, let's do exactly what I did before. 0. So we're gonna make the connection from Route 18 to Muska. There we go.
Cool.
A3C's gone again. Huh.
So it could be that once nothing was pointing to it, it no longer sees it as valid, like it's not sure. Because the way that, like, there's no table of tile sets, like that's just not a thing, right? So the way it's finding tile sets is by looking for what maps use what tile sets.
Okay, but then in that case, am I able to retrieve it? Can I type it in?
Yes,
again?
but you have to go back to the table tool. So see where it says View Data Table in Data tab,
Okay.
and then you've got your layout, the first pointer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And then
you've got your block data 1 and block data 2. See how that second one is the 854 on the left side?
Okay. So 8, and it's 3C. And now we're back to looking like Pseudopolis.
So again, that's just kind of like, because there's no table of tile sets, there's no way for HMA to know like what things to populate in that list. So it's just guessing based on what tile sets are being used by maps, right? If it's being used by another map, it's probably a tile set. If it's not being used by another map, it might not be a tile set. So it loses it from that list.
But isn't that something that could be stored in the TOML?
I could store a list of tile sets in the TOML, but then if you added a tile set using some other tool, HMA would not be able to understand what it was because it would conflict with the TOML. And then likewise, if you used one TOML with then a backup of the ROM or something like that, and it thinks that there's a tile set in the address but there's not, that could also cause problems. Like if it's using a tile set that you added in a new one that's not in an old one.
So,
but the answer there is like just the thing you did there, where you go into the table. Like if you view the table in the data tab for like the table for this map, that lets you see everything and you can edit anything however you want.
So I guess I'm having trouble recreating the error that happened pre-show, but I guess it was like a really random one-off thing.
If you do end up seeing a place where you said they keep coming up over and over and over again, so was that like an assert that kept coming up, or was it?
Yeah. So like a pop-up. Here's an error. Report it somewhere. Didn't really have time to do that, but.
So there's two types of error dialogues that can show up. The assert dialogue, if it shows up, there is one of the ones that's like ignore all, or something that. Okay, if there's no button for that, then it was a crash dialog, which means if you look at your crash.log file, hopefully that'll have the info in it.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Do not save. So where's my... Is it
should be next to HMA.
Crash log. Haha. That's not today. Yeah, this is today. So how about I'll post this in your Discord and you can view it at your leisure.
Sure. And I'll take a look. So there was another feature that I didn't know if we were going to have time to do or not, and we've already been going for an hour and a half, so I'll call it here. But there was another feature that I'll just kind of like quickly see if what I did makes any sense or not, if that's okay.
Right.
Can you go back into your script? Or actually go back into some other script.
Okay, let me, because I'm trying to copy this out.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, because this error log is so big, it doesn't want to copy cleanly.
I don't need the whole thing.
Oh, really?
I mean, from where the error and then as much call stack as you can give me, but I don't like the farther down you go in the call stack, the less likely it is to be helpful. Like all the stuff that says Windows.interrupt that you have on the stream right now, like that's not even HMA code. There's nothing I can do about that.
All right. Okay. Well, anyway, those are all my crashes. Let's open it back up to the most recent backup.
Mm-hmm. Or just, wherever you had last saved.
Yeah, so which is this one. It didn't save my window position.
Is it supposed to?
I don't know. Is it?
I've never coded that before, so if that was something that was expected, no one's even mentioned it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's literally only for this exactly one use case, which is me going on stream. So it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so go look at some script that has some variables and flags in it. Doesn't really matter which ones.
Ooh-wee. Let's look at one of my trainers, and you'll start crying about how I freaking coded these guys. They're disgusting. Where's the dragon trainer? There we go. This is like the simplest. This is the simplest version of a trainer that I have in my game. I lock everyone. We have a defeat message. And then if he's not defeated yet, I sort through however many badges you have by calling the script. And this script should be named. This script should be called something. So where is E50800? Way down here. So this script should have the name. Let me just go to this script. Can I just go to here, or what's the quickest way to go to?
Probably copying E50800 and then Control G.
All right. So this script should be it's counting badges. So let's try to name the script. I thought I already did, but let's name it anyway again. So I just start typing here, and this is fine.
Sure.
Badge count. All right, and that's dot. And this should be a valid name, right?
Why are you putting a dot at the end?
Well, is this XSE even necessary or anything?
So yeah, the XSE is telling it what format that anchor is. So the XSE is telling it like, this is a script, basically. That's what that part's doing. So the badge underscore count is the name. So now if you press the home button.
Okay.
No, sorry, not the home key, the home button. There you go. And remove your text.
Okay, you lost me there. So this
okay,
button.
So there's the home button. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Show go to menu, and then there's some text that you've got highlighted. Go ahead and delete that text. Just delete all the text.
I think I might be slightly ahead of you because of the stream.
You are slightly ahead of me, yeah, but you got it. So now you'll notice that badge underscore count is showing there because you named something badge count. So that shows you that you named it correctly. Now, if you wanted to get it to show up as some kind of subcategory, you could call it like scripts.badge count, and then it would show up under the scripts category.
Okay. Now here, badge count is showing as badge count, and when it's called here, it's calling badge count. Cool. All right. So now,
is that what you wanted?
Yeah. And now there's this disgusting mess of I have 16 different versions of Nicholas to fight. So it's determining first the badge count stores the number in 4001 of
Okay.
how many badges you have, and it calls the trainer fight. The trainer fight's just single battle, continue silent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these guys all actually have unique text in the event that I, for some reason, wanted to start writing unique text for every different encounter. I'll leave that as an opening for later. So,
Yep.
E522D, who calls that? These are all... Okay. So, okay, the way I have this is that the Nicholas 0 is the master flag for determining whether or not this guy is ready for combat, despite whatever level he's at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then 2214, which one are you? 2214 is the defeat text. And this guy is literally the accessory of badge count. Of just
add
one
var
to the counter. Yeah.
And that's why you're doing the call there, yeah.
And then everything else here is just trainer and counter flag. So that is the entirety of a script for a single trainer.
So let's scroll down.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, there's a delay, so you're gonna have to be patient whenever I see stuff on your screen. But scroll back down towards the bottom. You said there was a thing that it was checking all of the badges.
Yes, this guy.
Okay, so let's use case. You want to see everywhere where that bottom badge is used.
Sure, this guy.
Yeah, that one. So how would you do that?
I would copy this variable and do a full search using Control F.
Okay.
But the way I did it, it didn't like. So the way found 712 results. Please refine your search. yeah, that's fair.
Okay. There's a way. Let's see. How do I? Okay. Different question. You said you got like that trainer, defeated trainer Nicholas. That's like the master flag.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to see everywhere where that Nicholas is used.
Okay. Now this is harder because this is kind of like a reference.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to search not only for that, but also names. So this
yeah, that'll
is
search like all the. I mean, that's kind of what you wanted.
Well, not really, because this is just searching for names. And if he's like an actual character in the game, like if he actually mattered and his name comes up in scripts, like written scripts, not like coding scripts, but like plot, like dialogue.
That would be horrible. Yeah.
I would never find anything.
Mm-hmm.
So really, what I'd have to do is figure out what even is the address of this guy, which is, I guess, open in table tool, and that's the address. But now, if I search for this, I don't think he's going to show up anywhere because I don't reference him as this. I reference him as Nicholas.
Yeah, you don't use his address. You use the fact that he is trainer number 256.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That was his number.
I mean, if you go back to your trainer editor, and you show the table tool, you showed that's the text. Move back to the table tool, and yeah, you see at the top there it says data trainer stats 256.
All right.
See what I'm talking about at the top? Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not important right now. So if we go back to the script editor, and we're saying there's a way to find all the places where that ID, that Nicholas ID, is used, specifically Nicholas, not just the number 256. How would you want to find that?
I think the easiest thing in any case where like I want to see where this is referenced is a highlight for if it's like something that's easily findable. Like if I'm looking for, if I highlight this, then it should be like the comments for a function. If I highlight this is like a variable, then what the hell's go-to source? Oh, okay. That's nice. I like that. But that's not what you asked.
Mhm.
That's useful though, so I'll keep that in mind because I didn't know that was there before.
Okay, so if
I-
well, no, let's talk. Well, first of all, it wasn't there before. That's new. Second of all, you did eventually right click, but I had to prompt you really hard to get you there. So the idea of like right click again. So you see there's the go-to source. Let's pretend there was another thing that said like show uses. Which, to be fair, if you go to source and then you see the show uses kind of at the top there, the table tool.
Oh, my eyes just completely glazed over that.
Yep, but let's assume that button was in that right-click menu. That still wouldn't be helpful if you never right-clicked on it, right?
So here's the thing: the right-clicking is good and useful, but I'm not used to using the right-click in this tool because the right-click hardly ever does anything.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I'm asking you, right? As a user, where would you have expected that feature to be? Because I saw you were trying to use the find menu, but that's a very different feature.
So this comes back again to my bias of having used this tool in its previous state. If I was fresh, the right click would have been my first resort. However, there's so many places where a right click might be something that I might want to use, and the utility is like very basic compared to what it normally would be. So like right click in a more universal sense is meant to be like a context menu or something like that. Here, right click is like copy, which I would probably want to put like the paint interface somewhere over here where it's like eyedropper tool or paint bucket tool or something like that. Something a little bit more familiar. And right click would be like actual context menu.
Right click on like not just an empty block, but like something that actually has like an event.
There. So this is good. This is was this here before?
Yeah, that was there before.
Okay, well I guess I never thought to do that.
That's fine. Yeah, there's right click menus on all of the events.
Yeah.
But there's not right click menus on just like block cells. And that's kind of why is that I didn't want to have a like conflict between are you right clicking on the block or are you right clicking on the character? But that's not important.
I think the fact that the right click on the block cells does something basic outside of the context of a context menu kind of trains me, because this is where I'm spending a lot of my time is mapping. So if I'm training the muscle memory of right click is literally just I'm going over here, I want this, I'm going to put it over here, then it's training away the muscle memory of right click does something very useful.
Okay.
Now, having said that, if you suddenly change it so that right click is no longer copy tiles, and I go back to mapping for 2 hours or 3 hours at a time, my mapping, I'm gonna suddenly start right clicking on a bunch of stuff because I've already trained myself on this current method of it means copy. So if I'd have to retrain myself, which is not a bad thing. Which is not
desirable.
Well, no. It is if what's replacing it is more useful.
Okay.
So that's the thing. Again, I'm coming in with the bias of like a couple months of experience, but in a general sense, let me open up Paint Bucket. Let's see, because I kind of treat it like Paint, right? Or I kind of treat it like RPG Maker. Actually, really, what we should be aping RPG Maker, if anything, because they've been doing the same thing for a while, and people like to use their tool. So if I draw some stuff. What does right click do? Right click is erase. When I select over here, right click is copy. So the context menu is situational in Paint, but I think it's obvious when it's useful. Now, I'm not telling you to reinvent Paint, but I am telling you that if you did, I think mapping would be a lot faster for a lot of people, and it would make more sense as an interface for a lot of people if, not like all of Paint, but like you have the single tile tool, you have the Paint Bucket tool, you have the eyedropper copy tool, and you had the select tool to select a section, copy it, and paste it somewhere else.
That just takes so many clicks. Whereas right now you can just like right click, drag to select a thing, and then click to drop it somewhere else.
Okay, correct. That is absolutely correct, and that is a fair assumption to make. But this is kind of like what I like to refer to as a Linux mindset, whereas it is technically more efficient, but it is a less common use case for the average user who's not used to doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of, is it better to be able to just drag with one button press? Or if I like to do what I'm doing right here, holding down right click and dragging to copy, if that was instead left click plus control or shift or something, or alt or whatever, probably control would be like the most obvious button to use here. That would be in agreement with the muscle memory of left click operates inside of paint or tiles or whatever, and right click is still a context menu. If you understand what I mean.
I think so, yeah. For reference, right now control click is a rectangle fill.
Rectangle fill. Let me see. So let's go to a map where I can afford to screw something up. So if I copy this guy and control, I see. That's neat.
But again, that doesn't matter if no one knows that that's there.
Yeah,
now that did show up in the tutorial for the map editor. Whenever the map editor first opened, you saw the tutorials on the right edge.
So the problem with the tutorials is that there's like 40 of them, and a lot of them are not anywhere near immediate of what you're trying to do. Like I remember, like number 5 or 6 was, hey, you want to make a dive menu? No, I don't want to make a dive menu. I just started. I have no clue how to even give the character the dive HM yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So stuff like that. So like the basic tutorials are the ones I went through where it's like, okay, go left, go right, go up, go down, put down some basic tiles. And I probably did all of them and then immediately forgot 70% of them.
That's fair.
Yeah. I what I want to do is I have RPG Maker on here, so I just want to see, because... Oh, seriously? Whatever. Here we see the prototype map of the Pokemon ROM hack. So let's just see how they. So apparently I'm talking complete nonsense, because the right click here is similarly doing very little. Because I'm right clicking.
I can't even tell what the right click is doing, because
absolutely nothing.
It's nothing. Okay.
No. Here's what it's doing. It's creating a selection, which makes some amount of sense. So it makes a selection, and then if I do that, oops. Then what was the point of the selection? I don't get it. Oh, okay. So this selection, honestly, I don't have enough experience in RPG Maker to say why this selection is happening here.
You're doing like a 9-grid or something?
No, it's not. I don't think it's 9 gridding. Oh, RPG Maker automatically 9 grids, right?
Okay. Oh,
so
yeah,
true. Right. So there's that. So the right click drag.
If you just do so right now you've got the desert selected, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now it says I don't see what you've got selected now. But that's the thing. Like if you just well, how did you select it?
I had to click over here.
Okay. And again, there's a delay between your voice and what I'm seeing on screen. So
sorry. So I had to go over to the palette of tiles and click on it manually in order to select the desert.
And if you just right click on a forest in the middle, that does nothing.
That does nothing. And then no, it does. If I right click on it, so yeah, I am talking nonsense. You are actually aping a lot of the functionality of RPG Maker. And what I would say is that the UX designers of RPG Maker know a heck of a lot more about what they're doing than I do. So if they're doing it, keep doing it if you're doing it.
Okay, I need to play with RPG Maker a bit, I guess. I guess what I've been doing so far is thinking, how would I want this to work if it could work any way I want, and then do that. And then from there I'm like, okay, now I need to go check with some other living human that doesn't have my brain, and see what they expect, right? And that's really what I'm doing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm writing down all this information. I'm probably not going to change anything right away. I'll change a couple things right away because there was some bugs in there. But I'm going to do another usability test where I see, what are some expectations from some other people? What do they have trouble finding? Where do they expect buttons to be? And then I'll move things around. But like my main problem is because scripting is a really complicated thing, I need to make sure that references are easy to get and then features are easy to find. And that's what I don't know how to do, is I don't know how to make resources easy to find and features easy to find.
Yeah. So a lot of it is literally just documentation. Let me show you. The world that I come from is the Sega Saturn community. So let me show you what starting in Sega Saturn looks like. You go to emeraldnova.com if you want to start out with the tutorial that I prepared. There's a Hello World example. You can get started in Joe Engine, and then when you go to Joe Engine's like the beginner environment. Here's the boilerplate for your compilation environment, and then you go to the documentation. Now, this is the key part. The reason why Joe Engine is used by 99% of starting Sega Saturn homebrew developers is because you can go onto Joe Engine's page, and there we go. Every single header and every single function is documented automatically by a doxygen. I don't think this is as much of an option for you, even though you do have like the structure to allow something like that to happen. But it needs a heck of a lot more comments in order to make them effective.
Well, so and I'm going to have to rely on the community to help with the comments part. But let me show you what I was working on earlier that is similar to what you're showing me now. If I can just get a link here real quick. So like just as an example, like the most basic thing in the world to do is print. So Joe _ print printf debug or whatever. So we have the define or this one.
Where's printf? There we go. So we have like a basic sprintf. We have parameters, return, and the return is written in human complete sentence English. You pasted a link that probably got filtered by Twitch.
I will post it in Discord.
Yeah. Let me see if I... Because there's not an option for me to unfilter it. I don't know what's going on.
That's fine.
There we go. But so like this is a standard that I'm used to, and then when you go into Sega documentation, similar story, you actually can go in the SGL reference, and every function is a full page of documentation from Sega themselves.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, I copied the Discord message link and not the link itself because I'm a silly person.
It's easy to do.
Yeah. So yeah, something like this is great, where you have your arguments and you have what they're supposed to be doing.
So yeah, this is brand new, which is why it's not part of the test. I actually made this after finishing the current build that you're using. But yeah, this by itself also does not yet contain all the specials, but will soon. And I'm going to need help from the community on the documentation.
Okay, yeah. So is this like a GitHub pull request type deal, or is this like, hey, here's a list of functions that I wrote human sentences for, and copy it in?
Honestly, this is pulling directly from the script reference.txt file that you were already using. It's just turning that into something that's a bit more human readable and searchable. Yeah,
and it's not like the same functionality as Doxygen. What I'm saying is, if I wanted to contribute, if I found functionality and say, okay,
if you wanted to contribute, you would do it by modifying script reference.txt in a pull request.
Okay.
And then from that script reference.txt, this file gets generated.
Okay. And this is assuming that what I wrote is 100% correct and not just 80% correct.
And this is me trusting the community on that because, I haven't used 2/3 of these commands.
Oh, Game Freak was freaking insane in a lot of what they were doing, because like the logic of how some of these scripts work is boggling to me. Like having a scripting language where you do have if statements, so there is a basic logic there. However, you cannot add, you can add to the variables, but you cannot multiply, and you cannot multiply variables by each other, making the degree of logic that you're able to accomplish much more limited than it really should be for any scripting language.
There is a call ASM command which lets you jump down to thumb code, and then you can do whatever you want. But yes, you have to jump down to thumb code to do it.
That's asking for it. Anytime you're going to assembly, you're asking for it.
Yeah. Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, they wrote a DSL which is complicated in itself, and yeah, it's cool. It's got a lot of capability. It doesn't have all the capability, but it was apparently enough for what they were doing.
So I like this a lot. I would like it even more if it was somehow integrated directly into HMA in a way that was like in your face.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Where would that be? And again, you were the user. Where would you have looked for? Because I saw you go earlier. You looked in the help menu. Like, you did go to the help menu because you knew. I'm guessing someone told you that's how you get to the flags and stuff, right?
Right. So the first place, anytime I'm doing something, is I start typing in a command. I'll just call it give. Yeah. So this is already fantastic. I have a list of stuff that starts with give. This is just like a VS Code or like trying to autocomplete what you're doing. I would like to be able to click on these things to actually autocomplete it for me, but whatever.
That's actually a lot harder. It would be nice to do, but I'm like, let's get the basic, most important functionality there first before I try to figure out that part.
So let's just do give Pokemon. And here, this is also great. And I feel either I wasn't paying attention enough that this was already happening, or that you've added more detail to this.
This part is about the same. The thing that I think should be here now is, now that you pressed space, it should be giving you autocomplete options for species right now.
Well, I mean, give me like 1 or 2 letters though. So like if I type in A, probably the first thing that should show up is Aaron. And am I spelling that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just one A.
Oh, okay. So maybe Abra would be the first one. I think prioritizing the fact that I started with A should mean that the A, like, assume that the first character is the first character, because you're searching for Bulbasaur first. So
because Bulbasaur has an A in it. Yep.
It has an A in it, but none of these Pokemon start with the letter A. So like if I'm looking for an Alakazam, the first time I see him, he's 7 entries down on the second letter. He doesn't show up as the most likely match until 4 letters in, which again, I mean, it's such a small complaint.
Nope, that's a fair one. I can add that. So this is like a sort.
So it's not just sort. So there's prioritize first entries match, and then sort, right? So if I type in letter A, B, or I don't even know there aren't enough Pokemon to really.
Okay, when I say sort, that doesn't necessarily mean to put them in alphabetical order. That's not what I mean when I say sort here. But yeah, I see what you mean.
So CHA should have Charmander. I don't know if I want the sort to be Pokedex entry order or alphabetical order. I feel like Pokedex entry order might, in many cases, be more useful to a person making a Pokemon fan game who has an encyclopedic knowledge that they have Bulbapedia downloaded in their head already. So I can see a good argument for, I type in CHA, first 4 entries, without exception, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, Chansey, the order in which they appear. There's arguments for alphabetical, there's arguments for Pokedex entry.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Let's try Charmander. Okay, now we're back up. This pops up again. Wonderful. Level, self-explanatory. 5. Who cares? Item. So the item part is something I've had to train myself, where anytime there's a space in it, you need the quotation marks around it for obvious parsing reasons. Would it be better? I'm not suggesting this. I'm actually asking you as let's pretend we're user to user, not dev to user. would it be better to have an underscore in place of space? So instead of doing master ball, I would do master underscore ball, and that would also pick it up.
So honestly, right now, it'll pick it up without the quotes and without the space. Like if you just type master ball,
really,
that'll work. Yeah.
Okay. So
and you can see that, and you can see that by looking, like as you're looking at the data, like in the middle of the script right now, where you've got your give Pokemon compiled in. There's a 5 for like the fact that this is a level 5 Charmander, and then directly after that is the item code for the Master Ball.
Okay. So it's auto replacing the Master Ball with the item code.
Correct. If you click off and click back on, it'll parse it the quote unquote normal way, with the quotes around it and the space and everything, because that's the actual name of the item. But if you put it like that, Master Ball, HMA figures out what you're talking about.
Okay, so nothing really needs to be fixed there then. It's just me being anal.
It's a learnability thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not changing color, you don't know that it's a valid match, and you're also not sure what it's matching.
That's where I'm at right now. Is white? White to me tells me I could be doing a better job at telling HMA what I want.
Yes, because depending on what you type in, like if you just typed in Char, for example, instead of Charmander, it wouldn't be sure whether you mean any of the options that were in that list. But it's just going to guess the first one, which in this case is Charmander.
Interesting. So it's kind of fail-proof almost. As any letter would be valid, and in fact, the number 2 is valid.
Yes, 2 is a Pokemon 2.
Yeah. Is 3 valid? No, I didn't think so. I don't think there's anything like that.
No, 3 will be valid. It's not going to show up as valid, but yeah, you can do 3.
But
you just have to give
it. Gives me question mark. So what is the question mark?
There is a Pokemon called Question Mark, and there's actually 27 of those. It's the limbo slots. So Question Mark tilde 3 is the 3rd limbo slot.
And that's like a temporary variable that gets written in when you want to do something silly with the script?
No, the limbo slots are invalid Pokemon between Gen 2 and Gen 3.
Huh, okay. So let's just type in the number 2. And the program's going to know I mean Porygon 2 somehow. Which is
well, it might think you mean Ivysaur. I'm actually not sure how that one's going to work. Just give it some level. So yeah, 2, and then some level like 5, and then some item like 0, and then if you click off and click back on,
literally index 0. Index 0 is 0 no item or 0 random first item.
0 is no item. Yeah.
Okay, and then filler. Filler is very confusing to me, and that was one of my sticking points when I was starting out, because I didn't know if I had to. Like in C, you have filler entries in a function. You still need to put something there, even if it's null.
And that's the thing, is that HMA is smart enough to know that if you you can put the filler if you want to, but if you don't, HMA will fill them with zeros.
Okay, and that's Game Freak over designing this function. Then.
Yep.
Okay.
They don't. Yeah, they don't actually do anything. All right. So now, because you have the end there, you'll probably want to delete that end so that it, or just put it there. Yeah, so if you just click off and click back on, and get HMA to reload the script, see what it says, right?
Let's close the tab. Oh no. Okay. I can't close that.
Just click on like E59580.
Okay, let me okay. Here, because that's what I did. So if I go here,
that'll work.
It latched onto Ivysaur.
Okay, which is Pokemon 2. That kind of makes sense. And then it's showing you the name of item 0.
Which is, who knows?
All the question marks, yeah.
Yeah. Let's try item 10. And let's try Chop. Okay. Okay, well, it's not reloading until I load something else first.
You can click on just a different address and then click on that first address again, and then that'll do it too.
You know, maybe that's another thing, just like a refresh button or something up here.
There you go, Timer Ball Charmander. So it's trying to fill stuff in based on what you gave it.
It's doing a heck of a job. It knows what I want more than me. Yeah, I guess my just based off of this sticking around in the script, I would say that a refresh button for the script of okay, HMA, tell me what you think I just wrote.
My concern is that I don't know how to undo a refresh.
Oh.
Because, like, if you did a refresh, that'll change all your section names. Right? If it's basically taking what it's compiled and then decompiling it for you, then the only section that keeps the name is the first section, the one that, if you've given that one a name in the script.
Is there a way in the TOML to, like, maintain section headers or section names?
Yeah, I've been asked this before. The problem is that the sections can move around, and as you're deleting scripts and deleting sections and adding new sections, they're not at a fixed point. So it's difficult to know, like, if you edit a script, HMA doesn't actually know whether you just added one line or whether you pasted a big block of something. And if you did maintain section names, then they would have to either be totally unique within the ROM, like the way the anchors are, or they'd have to be stored as part of the original section somehow. Like, to say, and heck, maybe there's a way to do that, where a script remembers, like, my sections are called these 7 things in order, and then if it sees that there's more than 7 sections, it just adds another section at the end.
So
maybe I could do something like that. Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I'm just giving you more work at this point. What I have in my head is you can already name this address. This address.
Yes.
Or here, actually, let me do the one that I actually did already. Here, let's go back to Nicholas. And Nicholas calls badge count.
Yep.
So let's go down to badge count.
And notice that that's a new text block. Like, that's an entirely separate text box and an entirely separate address compared to the very top one that you had.
The very... what do you mean?
Like, if you scroll all the way back up to Nicholas, he is at a different address than that call script. Yeah. Right.
He's just calling... Because badge count, this is not even the first place that this is called. I have other NPCs doing this too.
Yeah, of course. So that's what calls are for.
Yeah. So badge count is doing its job. But it has like a dedicated child of E5088D, which originally, you can see just from the proximity, is section 2 of badge count. Now, if HMA in the TOML tracked this as in like a JSON style file or something, is like, okay, here is a child of this parent of, okay, badge count underscore section 1 or something, or badge count caret section 1, something like that. Then how I imagine this would work is that anytime you had to move automatically for resizing purposes or whatever, you would go in the TOML and find that unique reference, that unique address, and change that in the TOML, and then do what you were doing already.
I think I see what you're after. From all of the testing that I did, whenever I decompile a script, there's actually a safety that says, if this thing is pointed to multiple times, don't make it a section, because it might not be safe to repoint. Now, in this case, all of your pointers are in the same script, right? All of your, like, as you said, this is a dedicated helper, so this one badge count script calls its helper, what, like 12 times? 8 times? I can't count, but...
15.
Okay, it calls it 15 times, but those are the only 15 times that it calls it, right?
Yes.
The reason the safety net is there is for actually the kind of the top option you have, where Nicholas is calling badge count. Badge count has to be considered a separate script because multiple things call it, right?
Yes.
So it's not safe to repoint it because there might be other pointers elsewhere that need to be changed as well, and HMA can't actually guarantee that it will do that correctly. Okay,
so, but maybe you could leave it up to the users, because like you said, when I was naming badge count, another thing here is maybe I should be just go to for this subsection or whatever. Right-click go to instead of this.
Right-click go to if it's on an address.
Yeah. So here, I know I'm counting here. So what I could do is I could just rename this, badge count helper, or just increment 4001 or something like that. But you told me I I could add a hierarchy. I could institute my own hierarchy. So I could do scripts dot badge count, and then I would have a super header scripts under which I have all of my scripts that I've created.
I mean, there's already super header scripts, but yes, you can make a new super category. You can use an existing super category. It's totally up to you.
Right. So then the user already kind of has this capability, if they just manually do so, is I could make badge count its own category. I could do scripts.badgecount.counter and scripts.badgecount.increment.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you can do that now if you want to.
Exactly. Now my question is, badge count is a script. It's not a category, it's a script. Can I name this guy badge count.increment and have the name be valid?
You cannot have something be both a folder and a file.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. In this case, maybe I'll just have this as a useful script. I will do come on. One. Control G. Control G. There we go. Let me just rename this increment 4000 or OX 4001. There. And now when I go back to Nicholas, he's calling badge count, and badge count calls increment OX. This highlight. Am I screwing something up here by making?
No, that's just it's trying to figure out what things are numbers and what things aren't. But you're fine.
Right, yeah. Okay.
That's probably just I need to make it to where if there's a leading underscore, it doesn't count that as a number.
Well, maybe not leading. I mean, I actually, the more I think about it, the harder it sounds. The fact that it's a name, that it's referencing a name, should tell it not to re-parse the name after it's already been placed in.
Yeah, it in this case doesn't. The syntax highlighter won't know that that's a name, but it should know that it starts with a word, and that word is not a keyword, followed by an underscore, followed by stuff. So, like, because maybe the underscore is being seen as a separator right now.
Let's find out. Okay. So
if you delete the underscore, does it?
Oh, it didn't reset. It's the same thing. Again, going back to
just click up from where you are. Go back to where you were.
All right. Well,
I'm waiting for it to catch up. But like just from where your selection was on the bytes on the right side, just click like the 60 and then the 69 again.
Okay, you lost me.
Okay, so like you're at the script address and you see the script in the left panel, but in the central panel you see like the 69 is selected. So just select like the 60 and then the 69 again.
I can't really select this. Oh, not responding.
Oh dear.
Did not like that. It's a big script. Okay, that fixed it.
Okay. That causes it to do a refresh, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it had something to do with the underscore, making it see it wrong.
Yeah. I still posit that even with the inability to undo the changes, which has admittedly caused me great heartache, especially on the first 2 or 3 drafts of doing the multi-badge trainer script, I still see the functionality in making a button for doing what we just did, which is click off and click back on to refresh. And maybe just have a warning there or something like, warning, cannot unroll changes from auto-generated parsing or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll think through that and figure out if there's a way to make that safe.
I mean, presumably, if you just copy the entire text of everything that's on screen into a clipboard type object, a special case of undo would just be, hey, re-clipboard all this stuff back in. Now,
I'm really thinking that just like having a little refresh button close to where you see the var and the flag, and then when you click the refresh button, it changes to an undo button. until you edit the script again.
Yeah.
Like it's just literally just right there underneath your mouse. You can just click it right where it is to undo. And like it's the same thing you're talking about, like clipboard wise. Like again, I don't care about how I'm storing it. Yeah, I can figure out how to store it. I care about how to present it to the user.
Right. So I see exactly where you're saying to put it, and in the context of every single one of these scripts has a has their own set of variable flag buttons. Makes perfect sense to me. Now, my concern then is you do a thing. This guy is calling this guy down here. I do something to the script and screw up the parsing in such a way that when I refresh, I lose the reference to this guy down here. And when I do the refresh, then this guy's going to disappear. So even the undo will potentially lose this segment over here.
I don't think I followed.
Okay, so I have this open, and this is calling increment 4001. Therefore, increment 4001 is showing up as a separate box down here.
Yes.
I do something stupid with this script, and somehow I screw up the reference here, and the reference is lost. When I refresh, HMA will display what it tried to interpret from what this thing is, but now that this reference is gone, HMA automatically loses track of this, and he goes away.
Okay, so again, there's a delay between what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing with the motions on the screen, so I'm going to try...
Okay, yeah.
Oh, it's fine, but I'm going to try to follow what happened there. So, I don't think there's anything you can do to E5088D, the increment 4001. There's nothing you can do in that box that will make E50800 forget about it. Because if you change the text, like that's like the name there at the top where it says, increment 4001, if you change that to something else, to like, blah, I'm sorry, not up there, down at the new box you have, right? Because that's the one you're talking about editing.
Okay.
If you edit the bottom box, you edit that label at the top of it to be something else. As far as HMA is concerned, it's still called increment 0x4001. That's just a label being used when it decoded the script based on the name of the anchor.
Yeah. So yeah. No. I get that. I'm not talking about changing the kind of the section header title of the increment. I'm talking about if I edit badge count and I screw up and I accidentally delete or alter the reference for increment 4001.
Okay, so you're saying that that new box isn't even showing.
Yeah.
So you do a refresh. Well, if you do a refresh and then you do an undo, if the refresh caused the box to disappear, then the undo should bring it back.
And that makes sense to me. Yeah, because then your old reference would be there, presumably.
But just like right now from where you are, go ahead and delete all of the if flag set call lines inside of badge count. You should just see increment add go away right away, like before you even have to do a refresh. And yeah, you're not going to save what you're about to do. You'll just do an undo anyway. But
yeah, so that's
so yeah, delete that last line. That's still an error line. Sure.
Okay. It's taking a minute. It's thinking about it. And it went away. It's gone. Okay. So Control Z to undo that deletion.
Control Z does not work inside of these boxes, unfortunately.
Ruh-roh. Well, good thing I didn't save.
Yeah, but the undo button that you have at the top will do what you expect, I think.
Okay, whatever. Let's close out. No, don't save. Alright, and then let's reload. Go to map 00. Double check Nicholas.
Just to make sure we didn't break him on accident.
Yep, okay, and he's still functioning. Still works the way he does.
Okay. Alright, so...
Just for sanity's sake. I mean, yeah, you can keep going. I'm just gonna, like,
Yeah, I'm just going through my notes here. So yeah, right click an address should be able to go to. Right click a name should be able to show uses. Yellow underline for too long. Warning, line too long. More comments for all of the specials, which I already knew I needed. Some easy way to access, that's what we were talking about, is how to access the script resources from within the tool itself. I can imagine putting like a little help button that'll open it up, but no one ever pushed the help buttons.
Well, I mean, tooltips are great for brief information, but like an actual script reference, I don't know. How do you make that context sensitive where you automatically need, if you want to automatically go somewhere that's useful? Yeah.
Well, in this case, like there was several times as you were working that you said, I don't want to type anything to HMA. I want to go look something up online. And I noticed you do that several times, and I need to make sure that the I want to go look something up online use case is easy to do because apparently people want to do it.
Yeah, because if I'm typing, it's because I at least know like the first few letters of what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. If I don't even know the function I'm trying to do or try to use, then
you want to go look it up online instead. Because like what I've been doing is I'll type in like special and then I'll type the word party, and it will bring up like the various specials that have the word party in them, which kind of works. But yeah, it still isn't ideal. You kind of want to like, let me go look up the documentation, right? Yeah. So I need to make sure that's easy to do.
And honestly, like the way that you have it set up is still valid as a user experience. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of training. Of like in HMA, like you know that it's trying to not like outsmart you, but supplement you. So it wants to help. Yeah. If you learn that the program is trying to help, which is not always the case, then at least you'll figure out how to use it a little bit better. It's like the old person typing into Google, help, I need to know how much this item is. I saw it last week at the grocery store. I forgot what it's called, but it kind of looks like a thing. And Google's not going to be able to do anything with that. But ChatGPT might. Uh-huh. So adjust your inputs for the tool. Based on the tool, yeah. Yeah. So in that case, if the user learns that HMA wants to help, then it might be easier to tell them, hey, try to do this. Or honestly, we keep coming back to the yeah. We keep coming back to the case of, hey, let's make a tutorial, but let's make like an actually useful tutorial. Yeah. And by useful tutorial, I mean like a class assignment. Take Pokemon Emerald, mm-hmm. and in Little Root Town, make a thing that does this, and it's like maybe like a 5 or 6 page. Here's some basic stuff you can do, but that in 5 or 6 pages you can go over so many different function and use cases that it covers, and like
that's why I wanted to do a use case like this, right? Where it's like, okay, you've got to, in order to do this, you have to have some amount of branching, you have to have using of a flag, you have to find a new flag that's never been used before. You might want to, look for usages of a flag, which is why there's that right-click option to show uses of a flag. It's making you do more than just the bare minimum, because a lot of the bare minimum ones you can just do with a template and not even have to worry about it, right? It's only once you break out of that bare minimum that it's like, okay, you actually have to know how to script now. And that means I actually have to like make sure this thing is able to help you do that, right? And that's what I was going for here, is I want to make sure that it's meeting those needs. And I'm not sure that it is yet, but I've got a bunch of notes of little things to update. Maybe that's all that I need. Maybe I just need a lot of little updates. I don't see any like big glaring problems from this test.
I think more tests like this served up as tutorials would be infinitely more useful than the tutorials that pop up in HMA right now. So like you could literally delete all of those tutorials and just have like a quick little spiel of here's the basic controls for HMA. Now try to do this, and literally just the mentally scarring old stranger teaching young Brennan about the birds and the bees and the Heracrosses has covered enough ground in terms of here's a wait command, here's triggering a sound, here's triggering a different sound, here's adding items to the inventory, here's checking against your party. All this stuff covers so much of what the use cases of what you would want to be able to do in a Pokemon ROM hack, and everything that's missing is stuff that you've learned how to look up. So because I had to look up this special and this special, I learned the difference between Special 1 and Special 2. Because I learned how to get
That's why I picked this task.
Yeah.
I was evil.
Yeah. It worked. Honestly, so in terms of progress on the ROM hack, like I didn't even version increment. It was incredibly unproductive. But in terms of knowledge on how to use the tool, this was an extremely useful thing for me. Will this stream be successful when I post it on YouTube? Who knows? The first one was, but that's because I was doing a whole heck of a lot of mapping. I don't know how interested people are being in listening to the nitty-gritty of the creator. I like to emphasize and promote creators on the channel, but that's not always what the user base wants to hear about. So it's like two different focuses here in terms of like, yeah, I could be mapping this whole time, and I have a whole bunch of mapping to do. I'm like,
and honestly, that's fine. I'm going to get out of here pretty soon. I just wanted to make sure that I got a chance to ask these questions because I'm learning a lot from this. So I really appreciate you taking the time to help out with it.
No, I'm ready to keep going. Like I enjoy this kind of content more than I enjoy just mapping out. Because you remember last time when I was mapping out, if you were actually listening to the whole stream, it just kind of devolved into me just talking with Chad about, hey, let's talk about Sega Saturn, and people on YouTube later on down the line that are looking up Pokemon ROM hacks aren't necessarily going to want to hear me talk about my other interest, which is like Sega Saturn or whatever. Here,
that's why like this video itself is not going to be a tutorial because it's too stream of consciousness and other stuff going on. But like, I definitely see the idea of like, let's take this use case and just turn this use case into a tutorial because it teaches you so much of what you need to know.
So, I think the way that I can contribute to HMA is by coming up, like I'm already coming up with a few use cases that are like non-standard, like my level scaling badge-based system. That could be a breakdown in there. Here's how I did it. Here's why it works. Here's ways it might have been improved. I have the Gloria event system where it compares the number of times that you've met Gloria to the number of badges that you have, because there are 15 badges and 16 Gloria events. So stuff like that. Because then I could post up the script and saying, here's the interconnecting bits, here's how it works, and then that will lead to either me or other people or you having to document each piece of code that the script is using.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is I know there's a lot of documentation that's missing, but it's because I'm still worried about like, how do I even organize the core features of the tool in a useful way, and then all the documentation can come once that's there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of stuff in HMA that just surprises me with usefulness that I just don't know was there because it's not. No one is telling me to go looking for it until I absolutely need it. So like in Frigid Peak, I was worried about how I was going to handle a legendary encounter. Turns out it's a freaking template. It's just right there.
Yeah.
I hardly had to change a thing. So it was nice. So this is like, I think this is the first legendary dungeon I actually did, and I'll go ahead and spoil it for everyone. You need surf and waterfall to finish it. But I think the only thing missing is I need to add in Articuno sprites for Fire Red or something.
Fire Red does have Articuno, yeah, as a sprite, so you can replace one of the ones you don't want with it.
Oh, I have a limited number of sprites. Yeah, that's going to be annoying.
Well, yeah, because you're doing Emerald, so you have to replace a sprite if you want to add a character, because Emerald is already maxed out on the number of overworlds it's allowed to use.
Jeez. I'm actually not too bothered by the triangle to summon, because I already wrote text around it, so whatever. Because I have to find out exactly how many NPCs I'm not using Because I
So
did
here's
cut
the
down-
other thing I'll show you. So if you go back to your other, or just go to the go-to menu, I guess,
Yeah.
and type in Articuno. So you can go to Articuno's data.
Graphics, or oh, sorry, data.
I mean, just best match from here.
Name.
Sure, that'll work.
Yeah. So there's a sprite. There's a sprite. There's a back sprite.
So do the show uses.
Hello. There's a. Oh, sorry. Show uses. Yeah. Battle Frontier Pokemon scripts and maps. Let's try scripts.
If you click on maps. Oh yeah, so there's where it's being used in scripts. And again, there's a delay, so you're probably already there. But if you do
I'm gonna show uses in maps then. Ah, there it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the idea, is that I try to, wherever I can, connect things together in a way that makes sense. But like, I don't know how to make all these things learnable. It's just like every time I'm like, that should be connected, then I find a way to make it to where they're connected to each other.
Okay. So I don't have that thing in my head, to like know to do that. So I'm not used to doing that, and that's part of the HMA experience. Is again, it's trying to help you, and you don't know that it is.
Yeah, it has all these features, but if you can't find the feature, then the feature might as well not be there. And that's honestly, there's a lot of things like that, even just with the image editor. Like there was a couple things where I'm like, I really need this feature in the image editor, but then I don't know if anyone's ever used it because I don't know if they can find it.
I mean, I found that the import tool was instrumental in doing a lot of basic stuff in this ROM hack.
Mm-hmm.
Now, out of curiosity, is there any way for me to take this icon and use that as the overworld sprite?
I've been thinking about writing something that would do that, but there's nothing in the base game that lets you use overworld, lets you use Pokemon menu sprites as overworld sprites.
Right. I'm thinking in terms of like in Pseudopolis, there are like the big Groudon and Kyogre sprites, but those are proper actual sprites, and so is Rayquaza, who's in here somewhere. I already used Rayquaza as a statue. It's there, so they're already programmed in as sprites. But I'm thinking of like, if I wanted to do this event the way I'm thinking, all I'd need is this icon to just come swooping in from off screen. But that's like probably a lot closer to metal in terms of trying to do something like that.
I mean, go back to your list of overworlds, I guess. Yeah, let's just do like overworld sprites.
Yeah.
As a like probably a new tab, so like you can. I'm sorry, not that list. We just want to see like in the table of all overworld sprites, right?
Okay, so let me duplicate tab or something, or
yeah, you can do that. Probably from the
okay, so there's
data tab, but that's fine. So yeah, home menu, overworld sprites,
overworld palettes sprites. Okay.
Yeah, so the first one there. So this is just the table of all the overworld sprites, and they're in the same order numerically, and you can see the number at the top, which is why you have that drop down as well. So just find one of these that you wouldn't care about.
So there's that. The weird behavior that I still don't fully understand is the bard type guy, the randomized like in Emerald, he shows, oh, neat.
Yeah, he's at the end of the list, right?
Yeah.
Nope, you're past the end of the list now. You're on.
Yeah, I know. I'm going back up. I'm going back up. So these guys.
Yeah.
When I put them down in game, they turn into Brendan.
Yeah, the last, I think that's the last 8 is him. All have special purposes, and you can't actually use them the way that you're expecting to with other overworlds. There's special code for those ones.
Last 7. But we got Ho-Oh and Lugia, which is nice. We got alternate May and Brendan, which is because I don't think I'm using May at all, so that's 2 for free. I'm using Green Brendan for Emerald, so that's a third one.
So if you want to make an export, we can we can try messing with one of these just to see, if you want.
Well, let's okay. First off, as spoilers for the game, let's go into my notes and look at the completed version of the map with all the dungeon and locations and rewards. So all these guys are going to need an overworld sprite. Now, we know Groudon, Kyogre, Rayquaza, they're good. So, Lugia, Ho-Oh, they're in. Let's, let me just go back over here or something like that. Let's go take a look at this guy. Let's look at the list. Mew's there, so he's cool. Now,
if it were me, I would take one of those ones that you're not wanting to use, like Brendan, and I would program in a different Pokemon for facing down, facing left, and facing up.
Okay, so the only issue with that.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, and that's genius, but I've tried to lock position, and this happened when I was programming the Onsen. I actually stuck this guy in a corner because I wanted to prevent him from looking up, but I don't know how to make sure that he never looks up.
Now, the way you have the Summon Stone working right now, the character will never actually interact with the sprite, right? If you got the triangle, if they, you talk to the triangle, and then you want to have an overworld sprite come down onto the screen, right?
Okay, so right now I'm not even doing that. I have it locked, face the player. So why is it facing the player? I don't even. Oh, that's probably boilerplate, isn't it?
I mean, you generally want to face player, but yeah, you don't need to in this case.
Yeah. So the stone is doing all this boilerplate from the legendary.
Why are you doing the wait sound before the cry Articuno 2? Was that part of the was that part created for you?
Okay, let's find out. Let's just make another legendary here. Let's put down Rayquaza. Okay. And let's see what the boilerplate says. So this is default boilerplate legendary.
Wait sound before a cry. Okay, I guess that's what they were doing in the vanilla games, because if that's what I did, because I mostly just copied from what the vanilla games were doing.
It's weird that it would work that way, isn't it?
It is. That feels weird to me too, but apparently it works.
Alright. Okay, you can leave. So yeah. Most of what's here is because that was the boilerplate. I think the only thing that changed... Shoot. What was the flag? So 8C1... Is there a reason I use that flag? It should be under common. Oh, I don't need like half of these. This is for my previous ROM or translation project, so Notepad++ just keeps everything open. So, Solf Kimbley says that they were calling wait sound after the cry too, but Haven, omitted it for the legendary template. She's asking if that's normal, or he. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Articuno script in the base game just to see what it does, and yeah, it's got some special in Fire Red. Yeah, it's got some specials: lock, face player, set wild battle. But then there's wait sound followed by cry. And then there's the thing that the character says after that, followed by another wait message and a cry. So, yeah, maybe that's something that should be there that HMA is omitting.
Okay. So in that case, maybe something for the next is to alter the legendary template, I guess. So 8C1... Oh no,
yeah, there is a wait cry. Yeah, after the set wild battle, there's another wait cry there. So there is a wait cry wait sound before and wait cry after.
Oh, interesting. So wait,
Yeah, there's a wait sound at the above and a wait cry after in the vanilla script, and I did the exact same thing in my template. So, yeah, I guess I'm doing what the game does. I just don't know why the game does it.
What's the difference? What is wait sound doing if, one, it's before the cry, and two, cry is already having a wait for it happening?
I don't know.
And they're not even muting the sound, because I would understand if they had to do like the sound mute type deal or something for being dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
It's bothering me that I don't have 8C1 mapped in my files. But that's like...
maybe that one was added automatically by HMA?
So the capture flag here just says quadruple 0. Which... that's a temporary flag, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is always going to repeat? It shouldn't.
You should have a flag there. Yes, that's weird that that's all zeros.
Okay.
And if it was created using the template and it created it using the 0 flag, it should not have done that.
So wait sound, battle music, wait cry. Well, the battle music shouldn't start until like the battle starts, and the game handles that perfectly fine without any wait commands. It shouldn't need to wait for sound. I never start a battle with a wait sound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. There's Gloria, town events.
Maybe it's because whenever you first talk to somebody, there's always that first like clicking sound when you talk to them, and they don't want the cry to happen at the same time as that sound. So the wait sound is waiting for it to finish the initial beep of like you talking to someone.
And that makes sense. And I guess too that the fact that it's happening before
the cry, yeah.
Okay, I buy that.
That's my guess. I don't actually know, but that's my guess.
Okay. So let's attempt to use HMA's new functionality to undo my stupid mistake. Now we do not have a new flag here, so let's go over here. Set flag. There. So OX25, and thus the flag for this should then be OX25, as should the capture flag. Correct?
You want to have 2 flags.
2?
Go back to your map editor.
Okay, we have OX25 as
Scroll
the capture flag.
Down all the way to the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and you should see more info.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. So let's learn about legendary encounters. This is one of the... Okay.
So this is the place where I actually included documentation in the tool, but again, it doesn't matter if no one ever clicks the button.
It's kind of small there.
Back at the very top, it had kind of an explanation of why you want 2 flags, right?
Okay, so then in that case, the capture flag would then be 26. So then in my notes, I'll automatically know I need to do that, so that's 25, 26. Story flags start at the 260 block, so 025, 026 is perfectly fine. John Bugman. Okay, so these guys are going to be intermingled of insignificant town events and legendaries, and I'll just make sure to put the story flags. So that's a thing, and that was one of the things that annoyed me when I was mapping out the variables of Emerald, is that there's a lot of non-sequential, unused variables.
Yes.
The flags don't have the same problem. So when I was thinking that I was trying to program everything like Gloria, where they were utilizing these variables as their triggers, it was very hard to find a sequential sequence of well, that's redundant, but of variables I could use. Turns out
a continuous sequence.
Yeah, continuous sequence. It turns out that I can just use temporary variables, like for everything. And I can do that intelligently with flags, and I have more flags than I need. So this was a dumb way of doing it, but it's staying in because it's already completed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, where I was going with this is essentially, I need a way to like force different blocks of flags to act differently, and that's not even the responsibility of HMA, because that's like very specific to my use case.
If the entire point of HMA is to pick flags for you automatically and then let you see where those flags are being used anytime you click on a flag, like, it shouldn't matter what the flag ID is. Kind of like it does the repointing for you automatically. Like, some people care about where things get repointed to, and there are ways to force HMA to do that, but like, it's not really a desired use case. HMA would rather just handle it for you.
Right. So in this case, I'm letting these guys get intermingled just because it's convenient, but I will be maintaining my story flag, because then I can count up story events from the start, because the story is linear.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah. So in that case,
it is letting you do it both manually and automatically as you wish.
Right.
So that's good.
And because those story flags I haven't added story flags that have not been implemented, so which means I'm not going to step over my own toes. But I just have to keep that in mind when I'm taking my notes, as flags are only spoken for when they're used. So if I can't pre-plan my entire story, assuming that HMA will not step on my toes if I don't assert my dominance ahead of time.
If you save and then close your ROM and then open your ROM, HMA recalculates what flags are available based on what flags are actually used in your ROM.
Okay, so let's do that.
Like So that's the thing. Like, if you go look at it, it's not storing in the TOML file anywhere what flags are considered used or not. It's actually doing some background processing to figure out what flags are available and what flags are not.
Oh, it didn't save this flag. Huh. Let's try
That's
that again.
strange.
It's because I probably screwed it up in the script, I think. So let's try it again. What I like that I don't think it was doing before is it remembers the last map I was at.
Yeah, that's a new feature.
So much more useful than what I had to do before. Because I was always starting in Little Root, and Little Root is very far away from where I start my game. Oh, there it is. So I screwed up the input. I probably put like OXOX.
It's because you had the OX on the flag. Should that work? Should that be an error?
That's how I've been doing it, though. Is I always try to assert hex when hex is implied. But you know, whatever. I'm down for another quick task if you have one in mind.
That's all that I had. I was potentially going to try to help you, like, importing an overworld sprite, but other than that, it is I guess late where I am, late where you are as well.
Yeah.
So I was going to probably call it a night soon, now that I have all the information
that's
I was looking for.
And we've been on for a hot minute, and I feel like this discussion...
Definitely longer than I was hoping for. Not that I was running out of time, but like, I always try to make sure that everything I want to do can be done in half an hour, so that I'm respectful of other people's time as well.
Oh, no. So here's the thing.
Since you're doing a 5-hour stream, I'm like, well, you got time, and no one else is complaining that we're talking about this, so I'm just going to keep going.
No. You were content. Like a guest appearance on a stream is great for me because like I have someone to talk to. Because otherwise, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to chat, but literally, I'm really talking to myself for 5 hours, where I'm responding to the chat, but a lot of times I'm filling time in terms of trying to expand upon answers to simple questions.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump out, but would you have another question?
Yeah, well, last thing, and I think I'm also going to wrap up stream, so then you don't have to run away thinking I'm going to be productive, because I'm totally not until like tomorrow night.
Go for it.
I want to export that overworld map, that feature that you talked about earlier. Where is the option to do that? I didn't see it.
Edit map header.
Export image? No. It can't be that simple.
It can be.
All connected maps? Hide events? Oh, you added the hide events! Map copy to clipboard. Oh god. Okay, let's see what the damage is. 11,000 by 2,000. That is disgusting.
Well, it's your map.
Oh my goodness. It is my map. I think in terms of just total size, my map probably is going to dwarf Pokemon Emerald by a factor of 3 or 4. So the full width of this is probably going to be somewhere in this neighborhood. And then the depth is going to go at least down to here, if not further.
Well, it's not my fault if you crash HMA by trying to export an image that's way too big. That's your own problem.
That isn't... Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, guys? If you want me to add the button, I'll add the button, but no guarantee that it's actually going to work for large maps.
Okay. So is it a function of RAM or a GPU?
RAM.
Okay. So I've got 64 gigabytes of RAM. I'm only using 20 of it right now, and I feel like HMA might be a more than significant chunk of that.
It is. It's probably not using 20 gigs, but it's gonna be HMA will happily chug 2 to 4 times the size of your ROM.
Okay, I mean right now it's at 2.5 gigs, which honestly, I'm not pressed about it. I think OBS might be, I have a suite of different programs handling my audio and video, probably doing a bunch of stuff in the background. Also, I keep everything open for this, so that probably doesn't help. So yeah, that's fun. That's great. I think what I'm going to focus on is, instead of the story beats, I'm going to focus on continuing the map so that the map is entirely explorable on foot, save for maybe Pisces. And then, because that's how my versioning is right now. My versioning is... Oh! Saf Kimberly, thank you for the follow. Hopefully I'll start doing this more often. It's supposed to be at least bi-weekly, hopefully weekly. And definitely this game needs to get finished before Christmas. So, look forward to that. I'm going to try to finish the map first, and I'm already pretty far in. And so I'm at 9 out of 70 map areas. And then after that, there's going to be like a progression up to the last 30% of the versioning for the story. And then the game will be complete, and then I will take requests at my leisure. Anyway, Haven, it has been absolutely wonderful having you on stream. You are welcome back anytime, even when I'm doing Saturn crap.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. If you want to invite people to your Discord, on my videos related to Pokemon Emerald Nova, there is already a link to the GitHub, and on that GitHub is also a link to the Discord. Also, for people in the who are following me, I'm not active on Twitter anymore. I'm kind of cutting down on the social medias, but obviously the Emerald Nova Discord is always open. If you come in there, I will happily direct you to all the resources you need. If you're interested in Saturn, you go to Shiro. If you're interested in Saturn Dev, you go to Sega Extreme. If you're interested in Pokemon ROM hacking, I will send you to the HMA Discord, where Haven and Shawnee Till Dawn and all the other friends, Phoenix, who has been very instrumental in getting me started, live and hang out and have fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's it for the night. This has been great. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Apologies again to everyone on YouTube that have to sit through first hour of very awkward one-sided conversation from Haven. See you next time.